Weight wise, both of them are quite good. They are slightly different from each other, but the weight is not something very cumbersome. It is agreeable. It falls within the lightweight levels. It is not a very heavyweight tire. There are a significantly more heavier tires that I have used, and these are not very heavy when compared to the rest of the market. Comfort wise, these tires are some of the most comfortable tires that you can put. If you want a tire that absorbs a lot of bumps and they don't transmit it into the rider, well, the TVS is the tire to go for. There is a drawback, but that'll come into the next segment. Now, to take this and compare it to the rest of the group, I think the TVS is the most comfortable tires that you could ever buy. The extremes are even more plush because they are steel belted radials, so they have the tire is really flexible and they absorb a lot of bumps. So it's one of the most comfortable tires you could buy in the market. Feel. Now, because TVS has made and tuned the tires to be plush tires, they lose out on feel. The TVS tires are not the most communicative tires that you could buy in the market. They feel like as if you have a puncture. In your starting 500 kilometers for both, they feel like as if you're riding with a puncture. But as you keep riding, you'll realize that in order to have a very comfortable tire, you will have to trade off a little bit of feel. If you're a person who's very, very sensitive, that you need an extremely communicative tire, this is not it. But you have to give it some time for you to have a understanding on what it can do. So feel wise, not the best feel, but it is good enough. It is good enough to the point that you will be happy later on. So you have to give it some time for it to grow onto you. Cornering. Now, cornering performance, this is where the tire starts to show its actual capabilities. Now, for a tire that is comfortable and lacks feel, it should not have a great cornering performance, is what my expectation is, or it was. But every time I go out for a ride on these tires, it just keep performing. They won't let you down. You take a corner, if you are a dive bombing kind of a person, you take a corner, it'll grip and it'll go. As long as you don't, like in a 10 kilometer corner, you do 100 kilometers, you're going to crash. Don't push it like that. Give it a gradual speed increase. You will start to realize that a completely different approach of tire is actually refreshing. It just grips. It turns very well. It doesn't feel like as if you're going to slip and fall and then you're going to have your face dig into the ground. It doesn't feel like that. It holds a corner. It doesn't overheat to the point that you are going to slip around and have a very bad day. So cornering performance is good, and as you keep pushing further and further, yes, it will start to give up, just like every other tire in the market, but it has a much more higher threshold. And when it starts to give, it doesn't let the tire just swing off. It just gradually starts to slip. And beyond that, you know that you are pushed too far. So cornering performance, good. If cornering performance was a benchmark to see that this tire performs well, the dry grip is something else. In dry conditions, especially when the temperature increases to 45 degrees, 55 degrees road temperature, the tire just keeps performing. It does not lose grip. I have not gone below a road temperature of 28 degrees as I live in the southern region. But in cold conditions, it grips well. In hot conditions, it grips even better. Each time you push the tire, it starts to give you confidence to a point that you will start to push further and further, which is not supposed to be done. Just don't push too much thinking that this tire is going to save you. So it is definitely better than most of the tires that you can buy on the market. It is definitely better than a Pirelli Diablo Rosso 2s, any day better than a Metzeler W-rated tire, and it is close, maybe equal to a Pilot Road 5. That's how good it is.